Good morning. Here's today's outfit. Today I'm wearing some pants from Kohl's that I got over the summer. I'm wearing this top. It's just a cream colored top from Ann Taylor Loft, along with this necklace that I think is from like Francesca's. I'm wearing some flats from DSW that I got over the summer. These are the first time I'm wearing them. And then this two-toned Michael Kors watch. And I am wearing my brown frames today. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey guys, it is 4:48, 4:45. I should have left earlier. I just spent an hour talking to my sister on the phone. Not a productive use of my time in relationship to work, but sometimes you just gotta talk to your family when you're going through a tough time. So I just finished talking to her. I also started shuffling some papers around because there was a ton of stuff I should have gotten done over the weekend, but I didn't because I just was a little distracted. I still didn't get them done today. I'm going to be taking them home to get them done because I really need to get some stuff done there. So I'm gonna go home and work on that, but to check in, I did want to share with you what I chose to do for Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. I posted a question on TeachersConnect asking you guys, what do you guys do, or what does your school do? Do they call it Columbus Day? Do they recognize it as Columbus Day? Or have they completely switched over to Indigenous Peoples Day? And so at the spur of the moment, I decided, sorry, I'm looking around at the stuff that I left out. At the spur of the moment, I decided to see if there was a Brain Pop video on Columbus Day, which there was, so I played that. I took a little clip of that as well, and I'm sure I'll insert it at some point.
Good question, Moby. Did Columbus discover the United States? After a few voyages, Columbus never made it to India and the rest of Asia. He did reach Central and South America, but he never reached the part that is now the United States. It's also hard to say he discovered the Americas because there were lots of people already living there.
And then I decided, and so what I did, let me calm down, is I played a Brain Pop video. I gave them the easy quiz and I allowed them to take the quiz as they watched the video, and I will be taking that as a listening grade. And then before I read this book Encounter, I told the kids, I told the class that yesterday was Columbus Day, but some people do not refer to it as Columbus Day. They refer to it as Indigenous Peoples Day. So I said, I just showed you a video about Christopher Columbus and the things that he is known for. And I said, and after that, I'm going to read you a book that may give you a different perspective or a different view of Christopher Columbus, and then explain to you why some people celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day versus Columbus Day. And I said, and you guys can kind of decide what you think after that. So I played the Brain Pop video. It does very briefly touch on Christopher Columbus and the fact that he really didn't discover America and the missteps that he made. But it is very brief because it is a Brain Pop video, and those videos tend to be very short. And then after that, I read them this book, which is one of my favorites. I'm sure you've all seen it before. It is called The Encounter by Jane Yolen, and it gives the perspective of a young Taino boy when Christopher Columbus arrives to his new land that he's discovered. And so this class is not as mature as others. So I had a couple boys that they just find the oddest things humorous, and it was a little frustrating. So we did read that and we talked about it and just said this is told from the perspective of one of the natives. We talked about how that culture of people no longer exist as a result of that hundreds of years ago. And then one of my students asked me, well, what's your opinion? Because I told the kids, you'll develop your own opinion. And I said, well, I'm not going to tell you my opinion. I'm never going to give you my opinion on the topic. I said, I definitely have an opinion, but I'm not going to share it because it's not my job to give you my opinion. It's just my job to give you the information so that you can form your own opinion. Let them know if you want to go home and talk to your parents about it and see what they think, that they are more than welcome to do that. So that was kind of how I touched on the whole Columbus Day versus Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm not going to say what my opinion is, but if you know me well enough and you think about some of the things that I've said in previous vlogs, I'm sure you can kind of figure out my stance on the whole topic. So we did that. We also finally got around to the best bird beak activity, which I was supposed to do a couple weeks ago and I just never got to it. I did take some footage of that.
It's so hard. That's even harder. Take this out. Oh my gosh, that's hard. No, that's gonna be easy. That's easier.
And it's just basically talking about animal adaptations, specifically focusing on bird beaks. So they get this bowl. I'm gonna leave it in this bag. And in this bowl is just different food items. So shredded mini wheat. I put gummy worms in there for fun. There's grapes, sunflower seeds, grains. And then they get all these different tools to try and pick up each item. This year, I did structure it in the sense that I gave each student at every table group 1 minute to try to pick up one particular item using each of the tools. We still didn't get through all of it. We still have to try the grapes and the water tomorrow. So we'll do that either first thing in the morning or in the afternoon. Maybe after our Fox time because we have PE tomorrow. So they had fun, and then as they're doing it and the next person in their group is going through it, they write down on their chart which tool they found to be the most helpful for picking up that particular item. So that was pretty much our day, and then we did some review for chapter 3. We used the same Kagan structure, find someone who, which I've shown you guys a couple of times before. I didn't record any of that today, but they are getting better with it. So we did that. And that was pretty much it. As far as my weekend, it wasn't the best. I'm not even gonna lie. The things that are happening outside of the classroom for me are still very much present and still very much stressful. So I don't really have anything exciting to recap for my long weekend aside from I appreciate everyone that is praying for me and telling me to keep things in perspective and to, you know, take care of myself and really make sure that I remember I cannot solve all the problems and I can't do everything. I can only do what I can do, and I have to keep my health and all that in mind. So that's what I'm working on. But I need to go home now to recoup the time that I didn't spend over the weekend and just get some work done. So all in all, not a bad day. It could be better. I'm really hoping to get myself back on track with just dealing with work stress, just having that to deal with and not so much a lot of work stress plus a lot of life stress. So I'm working towards that. But other than that, all is well. I hope you guys had a good Tuesday and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good morning. Here's today's outfit. Today I'm wearing this top from, I got this from Ross over the summer. I'm wearing my Julie cut pants from Ann Taylor Loft. This cardigan here is from Target that I got last year. These flats from DSW, and I am wearing this watch. I don't know if I've shown you guys this watch before, but it's like my grandfather watch. Not my real grandfather, but just a watch that makes me feel like a grandfather would wear it. That's from Nordstrom. This necklace with the G on it for Genesis, and black frames today. That's it. Talk to you guys in a little bit.
Okay. It is about 7 o'clock. I'm on my way to work. I'm gonna really take a deep cleansing breath because I just got myself a little worked up. But it's gonna be fine. It's a new day. I'm gonna go in there with a positive attitude. I am sad to admit that I have become so frequent at Starbucks that they now know what my order is. They know what my name is, and they just hand me the order, which is a little concerning because that means I'm going every day. I've been going every day for I don't know how long, which is not economical, nor is it fiscally responsible. But I've had so much stress in different ways in my life the past several weeks that just got amped up a little bit last week that I have now justified my trips to Starbucks as saying this is a form of self-care and this is just a little something that I do to brighten my day. And
in the big picture, that's just me justifying behavior that I really shouldn't be doing. I can make iced coffee at home. I even have some iced coffee that I bought from the grocery store. But for some reason right now, getting my coffee at Starbucks in the morning, my venti vanilla sweet cream cold brew, really gives me a sense of like everything's going to be okay. So what I need you guys to do, if you guys are really my friends, like you've said you are, and you really do love me and support me, is I just need you to help justify and enable me with this habit. My goal is to wean myself off of this habit. I will not be doing this every day for the school year. That I just know. And the money that I'm using to do this, it is kind of like this fun money that I set aside. So, I mean, but anyway, I just need you guys to acknowledge that, so, and help me or enable my bad habit right now, just for my own mental sanity. I am on my way to pick up my Starbucks and start my day. I did not vlog yesterday. I didn't even record an outfit of the day because when I was going to do that, I realized I didn't have my camera with me. As far as teaching, you didn't really miss much. They took their chapter 3 math test, which took a while. We read a little bit more of Winn-Dixie, and that was it. Yesterday was a little disheveled because at the last minute I was given a sub, not to teach, but there was just an extra sub on campus, and my principal knew that I was going through some things, so she, as a kind gesture, gave me access to this sub. So I was like scrambling around getting some things for her to work on, which was nice. And then we reviewed their review test before they started their math test, and then they took their math test, which takes a while, and we finished up our science activity. And that was pretty much it. I will say yesterday I did let the stress of my life outside of the classroom get the best of me, and I wasn't in the best of mood, and I didn't even feel like I was being an effective or a pleasant teacher to be around. And that's another reason why I didn't even pick up the camera to vlog, because I wasn't like in the proper state of mind. And then after school I didn't vlog because I had after school duty. Then I had an SST meeting for one of my students, and then I had to promptly leave my segment of that meeting to go to a school site council meeting. And then by the time I got back to my room, it was around 4:30, and then I just needed to clean up and head out. And I had to get home because I needed to finish a book that I had to read. So that was the day yesterday. So I'm just here to pick up my Starbucks. I haven't gone to Orange Theory at all this week, which is bad, which means I will only make it there 3 times this week. My goal is to go 5 days a week, but you know, it's just one of those weeks. I'm just trying to get adjusted to some things that are going on, and I'm just trying to get to a sense of feeling like I'm caught up this week. Like I think all the life stuff that has been going on has gotten me off course with lesson planning and being prepared. Okay, I guess I won't be parking in that parking spot. So I've just been off and just kind of getting by day, which I don't like to do. So I'm gonna park. I'm gonna go in and get my Starbucks, and then I'll be back. All right, I got my coffee. I'm back in the car. I'm headed to school. Today, I actually do have a sub. I have a meeting at the district office at 1 o'clock, but the district is nice enough, the superintendent that's in charge of this meeting was nice enough to get me a full day sub, so I have a chunk of the day where I can use the sub the way that I want to. And I am going to have he or she grade some papers if I can find them. There's like this stack of papers that I set aside for the sub to grade, and I'm not 100% sure where I stashed them away. I will probably teach while the sub is there because it's just easier that way. And I have this meeting at 1 o'clock, and I'll probably just leave something that's pretty straightforward for the sub to do, so I don't feel the need to make like elaborate sub plans for the last hour and 45 minutes. So that is what's on my agenda today. As far as life, I am doing the things that I need to do to honor the situation that I'm in, yet not put myself in a position where things are just emotionally or really just emotionally unhealthy for myself. So I know I'm speaking very vaguely, and I'm not going to get into any detail just out of privacy for everyone that's involved, but
Some of the comments you guys left me either through Instagram or on my blog is just, you know, making sure to take care of myself and making sure that, you know, person's not putting themselves in a position that ultimately is unhealthy in some way for them. And that is what I'm focusing on doing. It's not the easiest thing to do in the moment, but I know in the long run, what I'm choosing to do and working towards doing will be the best for everybody involved. It's just hard along the way. And I got so upset yesterday, or got so affected yesterday, that I did tell my class. I didn't tell them any details, but I have found sometimes when you are going through something outside of school and you know that it's affecting you in the classroom, sometimes it is the most respectful thing that you can do for your students, and they're usually pretty good about it by just acknowledging, like, look guys, you know, I know that I'm a little off today. I just have some things going on that I'm stressed about, and that's what's going on, so that they know it has nothing to do with them. You're not mad at them, you're not bothered by them, it's just other things that are affecting you. So I said something to that effect, and they were like, oh, it's okay, and blah blah blah. And so I'm hoping that today that's not the case, that I can kind of push those things to the side and do what I need to do, because I don't like feeling like I'm not teaching to the best of my ability or anything like that. So I just got to school. I don't know when I'll be checking in with you guys. Sorry. But I will be sure to talk to you guys a little bit later. So have a great Thursday, everybody. Okay, it is 10 minutes to 12. No, 10 minutes to 1, sorry. I'm on my way to the district office for my meeting. This is probably gonna be all I can do in terms of vlogging today, so just in case, I'm vlogging in the car once again. Good news is I found my papers that I was looking for, my stack of grading that I wanted the sub to do. Sometimes I'm so organized that I can't remember where I put things at the time I put them there. So they were very safely tucked away in my filing system. And it just dawned on me when I got in there this morning that I probably stuck them there, and sure enough, they were there. So that's good news. Overall, I had a good day. It was great to have a sub. The sub that was helping me today is a sub that I know from my previous school. And so it was nice to see her. And she got a lot of grading for me done. Was that right? Got a lot of grading done for me. She prepped some stuff for math that someone was working on for me yesterday. And she has just about all the materials I need prepped for this art project that I want to do with my class possibly tomorrow. As far as my teaching is concerned, I did a good job. I did a better job of not letting my life stress get to me today. I just had to push that to the side, and I felt better as a teacher. I felt like I served my kids better today than I did yesterday. We pretty much got through everything. The only thing we didn't get to is that I wanted to introduce the new Wonders concept to them today. I was really supposed to do that yesterday. Didn't get it done yesterday, didn't get it done today. That is just the way it goes. So tomorrow's another day. I will try it tomorrow. So I'm headed to the district office. I don't know exactly how long this meeting's gonna be, but it's possible that it'll end early and I will actually get home much earlier than what I normally would, and that would be nice. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm trying to find my chapstick as I talk to you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna head to the meeting, and if I can check in with you guys later, I will. If I can't because of circumstance or time, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, I'm in my closet. The lighting is bad, but after the meeting ended early, so I decided to go to the mall. Hold on, I'm gonna turn off my TV. Okay, I'm back. I decided to go to the mall. Sorry, the lighting's bad. I'm in the closet. And just participate in a little retail therapy. I had a couple of things I needed to take back to Ann Taylor Loft, so I went there. So a couple of things that you're seeing, it wasn't any money that I spent that was extra. It was just an exchange, actually one of the things. And then I stopped by H&M because they just recently remodeled the one by my house at the mall. And then I stopped at Zara because they just built a Zara at the mall that I'm at, and I always hear about Zara online, and or hear about Zara through other people on YouTube, and I wanted to check them out. So I'm going to show you what I got. I'm going to start with Ann Taylor. So I took back 2 sweaters because they ran really big, and I exchanged it for this sweater. I'm trying to get some more sweaters going because it doesn't get super cold in Southern California, but it gets cold enough to where you want to be warm, and I don't have enough sweaters. So hopefully this comes out well with the lighting. But I got this leopard print sweater. This was 30% off. So I got this from Ann Taylor Loft. Then I went to H&M and I picked up a couple of items. I got this dress. There you go. It has some ties on the arms. At first I thought this was going to be too short, but when I hold it up like this, it does go to my knees, so it should be fine. I didn't try any of this on because I was too lazy. I also got from H&M just like a chunky sweater. Haven't tried this on. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it because it may just make me look thicker than what I already feel like I look. So I got that, but I like the color. And what else? I also got this shirt. It has dragonflies on it from H&M. And then my trip to Zara, they had this really nice coat. And I tried it on and I'm disappointed it didn't fit. It was gray. They had a lot of really nice stuff in there. I just didn't want to go crazy with spending money, so I really just had to keep myself under control. So I only got a couple of things. First, I just got this really soft sweatshirt kind of casual wear. I do feel like I could wear this to work if I wanted to. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like an oatmeal color. The sleeves kind of fold up, and this was only $29.90. So I got that. And I really like stripes, and I really need to stop myself from buying more things in stripes, but I couldn't resist this one. This one was $19.90. It's just a striped top, and I liked it because it has like coloring on the sleeves. So I got that. And finally, this one's a little bit more fancy, a little bit of a risk because it's white, but I really like it. I got this top here. I got to be careful. I don't want to get any makeup on it. Sheer top here. It ties at the neck, kind of like old-fashioned type looking, with these sleeves. And yeah, so I got to try this on. I need to get a top to go underneath it, obviously, because it's sheer. But that is what I chose to do after my meeting, and I feel good about it. And then I came home and ate a snack. I actually took a nap, and then I had to take Genesis out for a walk because I hadn't done that in a while. So I'm getting ready to have some dinner and then maybe start correcting my math tests. I won't finish them all because it takes me several hours to get through all of them. If you teach Go Math, you know those math tests are really long, and I do hand score them. I know they're available online, but I just prefer the math test to be on pencil and paper because I like to see the work the kids are doing, and I like to write notes to let them know if they did something really well or if they were kind of off base with something. I think that helps them in the big picture of things. So that is my plan for the rest of the night. I'm glad I was able to check in with you guys. Tomorrow's Friday, so I will see you then, and I hope you're having a great night. So see you tomorrow. All right, good evening, guys. It's actually 10:11. I left school pretty early. I left before 4 o'clock, so I got home a little after 4, and then I took a very needed nap, and then my cousin came over for a little bit, and we hung hung out, and then I went to get some dinner and ate that dinner, and now here I am. It's about 10 o'clock and I'm getting ready to shower and put my pajamas on and lay in the bed until I fall asleep, and I realize I almost forgot to do my TeachersConnect check-in. This angle is not the best, so I'm gonna move you there. There we go. I forgot to do my TeachersConnect check-in. I only answered 2 questions this time around because they were kind of meatier questions. Sorry, you guys are sitting on my nightstand. I'm trying to adjust you. I'm sitting on the floor in my bedroom again, and back there is Dateline on pause because that is how I spend a rip-roaring Friday night as I watch Dateline. The first one that I responded to, I always feel bad when I realize that I'm responding to a question by a person that I've responded to before, but a good question is a good question. So, and the second reason why I'm gonna feel bad is because I know I mispronounced this person's name the first time, and she corrected me and told me how to say it afterwards, and I can't remember how to say it. I think it's Tastasha. Tastasha? If it's not that, I'm sorry. I should have remembered, but it was a while ago. But she's pretty active on TeachersConnect because I see her post every single week or respond to usually a lot of the same questions I decide to respond to. So she had a question this week. It started off by saying students lying. So that caught my attention. And it says, how do you address this with students and parents? I've encountered some situations this week where students have gone home and told parents about things that happened in the classroom that in fact did not happen. A student went home and told his mother he was bit by another student. He was not, and I noticed the alleged bite mark on his hand upon arrival at school. It looked more like a rash. I assured the parent that it did not happen at school, but I would look into it. I asked the student this morning if someone bit him. He said he didn't know. I then asked where the mark came from, and he said a tree branch. The parent wasn't rude, but I love the saying, don't believe everything your child tells you happens at school, and I won't believe everything they tell me that happens at home. Is there any way specifically to try and eliminate these issues from occurring? So I've probably had that happen a couple of times. Well, in a more serious case, maybe once or twice, but a lot of times kids will go home and say something happened or give one version of a story, and then the parent will contact me and tell me what that student is saying, and I'm like, that is not what happened at all, or that's only a part of it. But for something like this, what I would suggest is, so what I told her in brief format is that the first thing I would do is that next school day, after I get that communication from the parent or the email from the parent, I would talk to the student and just allude to the fact that I've spoken to their parent. I wouldn't necessarily say everything that the parent is telling me they said, but I would make it known that I've spoke to your parent and they are under the impression that something happened that I don't believe happened, and just kind of ask them, you know, what did you tell them? Just to see if what they say they told them is in fact what the parent is saying they are being told. And usually when you do that and the student realizes like, oh shoot, like now you've talked to my parent and you've heard the version that I told my parent and I know it doesn't match up with what really happened, then they'll start to veer back to the truth of the situation. And so once that happens, I will contact the parent and say, I just spoke to your child, ask them what exactly the conversation was with you guys last night, and this is what he or she said in response. And typically it matches more up to what I know happened. If that doesn't work, then sometimes I will try and arrange it, and it's not necessarily a formal meeting, but I will try to arrange a time where I can talk to the child and the parent at the same time, because there's very few students who are so bold to just continue with the altered version of events in front of you, knowing that you were there, and their parent. Like, they eventually get to a point where they're like, ooh, now I'm stuck because I got to tell the truth. So that is how I handle it. And I think if it's a student that's prone to doing that on a regular basis, once they see that you'll kind of, for lack of a better term, call them out if something like that happens, that tends to discourage them from doing that again in the future. So I answered that question. I hope that was helpful. And then the second one that I answered, the next one is from someone named Rachel, and her question is, what is the best way to handle repeated hostile excuse me, / aggressive emails from a parent? I teach a student this year with a parent who has sent me about 5 emails so far, essentially attacking my teaching. She starts every email with a negative comment such as, never in my life I have seen blank in a math classroom. She has claimed I am not differentiating at all, so how can her son possibly learn? She is questioning my entire grading system, which is used by the entire math department. To make matters worse, her son is not engaged at all during class, falls asleep, does not take notes, does not take responsibility, etc. So far, I've told my team leader, and we are planning a whole team conference with an administrator present. I'm so nervous about meeting this parent in person. Any advice? Has anyone been in a similar situation? So what I responded to with that one is I first and foremost, I think the best alternative or the best solution to this situation is to in fact meet with your team and an administrator. And now that I think about it, I'm not sure if Rachel's saying they're going to meet as a team with an administrator and that parent's going to be there, or they're just meeting as a team with the administrator to kind of figure out how to best handle this parent. But if the parent's involved, I think that's the best way to do it. There's been a couple times where I've had parents not sending hostile emails to that extent, but definitely the emails have a tone, and the tone is such where you don't really want to go back and forth with them through email because that will make matters worse. So I have had a couple situations where I end up just suggesting, let's meet with the principal and talk this out in person. And what I have found is all that aggression and hostility is hard to keep up when you're actually looking someone in the face. Like when the parent is talking directly to the teacher and they realize, oh wait, the teacher is a human being that has feelings and emotions, they tend to tone themselves down a bit. And same for the teachers. Like the teachers get really worked up and like you're ready to go in there guns blazing, like I'm gonna really let it be known how I feel. But when you sit down and you listen to a parent and you see their face, it tends to calm everybody down in those situations. I also said, like other people, to keep email exchanges to a minimum. Like if after this meeting, this parent continues to send those kinds of emails, I would keep your responses short and sweet. And I would always copy administration on those emails. I usually blind copy just because I blind copy myself. And I don't know that I've actually ever sent an email to a parent where I needed to copy the principal. But if I want an email and I want to be certain that I have a copy of it and it's not going to get lost somewhere in the universe, I always blind copy myself because I have a file in my email system that says parent communication. But one person said you should copy the administration, but don't blind copy. Like let it be known to that parent that now we're at a point where I'm copying admin on these emails so that they can see the things that you're saying and how I'm choosing to respond. And I thought that was a very good point. But anytime you're dealing with a parent that is just dissatisfied, hostile, or whatever the case may be, my rule is keep it to a back and forth exchange like 2 times. Once you go past that, you need to go ahead and suggest that they meet with you in person or give them a phone call. And then just to be safe going forward, I would normally just copy all the email exchanges or message exchanges that happen between you and that person so that there could be no dispute as to what was actually being said. I would keep verbal conversations to an absolute minimum if possible, just as a protective thing for myself. So those are my 2 questions that I answered this week on Teachers Connect. There is one on there that I saw that was actually, it looked like it was posted by a parent, and I'm not sure if this is a teacher that happens to also be a parent. I didn't respond to that one, but if you're a teacher and or a parent, I would suggest that you look at it. Let me see, maybe I should read it to you guys so you know whether or not it's something you can respond to. No internet connection, that's not, okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, here it is. It says, I have a question for teachers as a parent. My son has always had issues with lack of concentration and moving at the same pace as the rest of the class. He has been like this in first, second, and third. I've asked each one of his teachers every year if this was something I needed to worry about. They have always said no, he just needs to move faster. He's a very smart child, an A and B student, but this year it has become a problem. The second week of school, his fourth grade teacher requested a meeting with me and the counselor because he was leaving work at school and she doesn't like that she has to constantly redirect him. Now they're telling me he might have a disability and they want to put him on a 504 plan. I mean, I feel like they're jumping the gun. Question mark. Is it the teacher? Is it my son? I've been completely stressed so far this year because I'm worried about him and what this means for his future academically and if he's going to need medication. I mean, why has it all of a sudden become a problem when he's been like this every year? I don't know. Any perspective from a teacher would be greatly appreciated. Now see, this is my bad. I didn't read that all the way through when I just glimpsed at it, and this is actually a question I do feel comfortable answering. And I will just answer it here without typing the response because I think that would be redundant. This question was posted by someone that just left the initials TD, and just glancing at the responses so far, one person saying they should not be jumping immediately to a 504 plan. They should be looking into a student study team instead, because there's no data to back up a 504 plan, like starting a 504 plan. The other one is from a parent of a child who managed well through primary school and then hit year 7 and things kind of fell apart. And they're saying that they provide accommodations in the classroom to help students like that out. I had a student last year who this reminds me of. I've been talking for 13 minutes already. And he was very bright, but very slow moving. Would kind of like almost leave the classroom mentally for periods of time. Like he was like in a whole nother world. But if you called on him, a lot of times he knew what was going on and his thoughts were clear and he can articulate them. He just moved slower. And I didn't really do anything super special for him. I just had to come to the fact where I realized I was gonna have to remind him of things and double check to make sure he had all of his stuff packed up because he would forget things at school that he needed at home. So I just knew I would have to verbally check with him specifically to make sure he had everything that he needed. And I'm trying to remember if at some point I had like someone that sat next to him just double check for him to make sure he had everything. And the mom and I talked quite a bit because she was getting concerned and she actually wanted him to be, she was like, do I need to have him tested? Does he have ADD? And I was like, no, like to me, that you know, that's a bit far. Like some kids are just slow moving. Some kids are just daydreamers. Like he was really just like a daydreamer. And so then at home, sorry, I just saw something. And then at home, she would kind of do some things and try some strategies to keep him focused. And by the end of the year, she said she felt like he was getting better. We never medicated him. We never put him on a 504 plan. He wasn't even in student study. It was just one of those things where I just felt like that's just a part of his personality. He might just be a slow mover, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. It just makes it more challenging for him to be maybe as organized as other kids or as efficient with his time, but that was really what I did. So I think jumping to a 504 plan right now seems a bit quick. I think they need to try to scale that down first and see if there's like little tweaks here or there that can help support that student, and then if that doesn't work, go from there. But I think a 504 jump is a pretty steep jump to make. So I've been talking now for 15 minutes and the lighting is going in and out. So I'm gonna wrap up the vlog for this week here. As you can see, there's a lot of information being exchanged on TeachersConnect, so definitely consider joining TeachersConnect if you haven't already, whether you're a teacher or a parent. So I'm gonna wrap up my TeachersConnect situation here. If you have not joined, please do so. As you can see, there's a lot of good information being exchanged back and forth between teachers and other people that are looking to go into the profession of teaching. I hope you have had a great week. Mine has been a little rocky with work and personal stuff, and That's just me being truthful and honest, but it is better than what it was last week. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I hope that everything is good with you guys. And again, thank you for all your support and everything. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to do that. If you're interested in joining Teachers Connect, remember the link is always in my description box if you want to do that. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.